your forecast first. Sponsored by Matex Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
Well, this evening we are tracking rain across the area. We are going to see this rain for the next several hours, but it is eventually going to switch over to a little bit of snow. Let's take a look at the storm tracker Dolphin. We'll zoom in. We've got some heavier pockets here, and we've had some of this between Decatur and Clinton for the past couple of hours. We've had these little heavier pockets there along Highway 51. Those showers continuing all the way down to Moequa, Monticello to Lovington, and this is continuing to move off here to the east. Now, here's the thing. I don't think we're going to see a ton of snow tonight and even early tomorrow, but another little secondary wave tomorrow afternoon could bring us some additional snowfall as temperatures continue to fall. We're still at 40, so we've still got a few more degrees to go before we see those changes. Raindrops on our lens here on Neal Street in Champaign. Eventually some of the snow moving in. We'll talk more about amounts when we come back. WCIA 3 News starts right now.
Now on WCIA 3 News.
Lawmakers said no to Governor Pritzker's plan to shore up the state's budget, while the fight over tax write-offs is far from over. Plus, crews in Springfield fought an early morning high-rise fire. How this one turned deadly.
And you've heard of people impersonating police officers, but in one county, some are taking on a different official identity to steal pets.
You're watching your local news leader. This is WCIA 3 News at 6.
It just doesn't strike me that they should have relied upon these two deductions.
Deductions that businesses might not get if Governor Pritzker gets his plan passed. COVID relief from Congress created new tax breaks for some business owners who reported losses years ago. Good evening. I'm Paul Cicchini.
And I'm Jennifer Roscoe. Companies can still claim those federal tax breaks, but the Pritzker administration says Illinois can't afford to give them out at the state level. Capitol Bureau reporter Cole Hankey live in our Capitol newsroom now. Cole, the governor's office is scrambling to get this plan passed later this month.
That's right. The Federal CARES Act allows certain businesses to go back as far as 5 years and report losses and write them off that they weren't able to before. The state budget deficit isn't as bad of shape as it's been since the budget impasse, and Governor Pritzker and some Democratic lawmakers are saying now is not the time for tax breaks. Governor Pritzker says it could make a $500 million dent in the state's budget deficit. But that wasn't enough to get enough House members on board to pass Pritzker's latest attempt at a budget fix.
I just disagree that it's this sinister thing when there's precedent to having done it in the past.
Pritzker and Democratic legislators like Mike Zaleski say now is not the time for tax breaks and tried to decouple the state from a CARES Act policy that lets certain classes of businesses go back 5 years and write off losses in federal and state tax returns. But Republican Representative Mike Murphy said this would just be the state kicking businesses when they are down.
I would like to know one reason why any business would want to come to Illinois or stay in Illinois. We're treating our small businesses, especially with this decoupling, shamefully.
The state's director of the Department of Revenue, David Harris, says this would not affect all businesses equally and instead hit S-Corps and LLCs, and only about 9% of those at that. Republican and business groups called it a tax increase on small businesses, but in reality, it just isn't allowing those businesses to do something they weren't allowed to do in past years anyway. Harris says it's a perfect example of how differently state and federal governments treat a deficit.
Their deficit situation, quite to them, isn't apparently all that important. A deficit situation to us and to all states, because we don't have printing presses in our basement that can print out money, is important.
Both the House and the Senate are scheduled to come back within the next month, and if this plan is passed when they come back, businesses could still go back and write off those losses they had at the federal level, just not the state level. Reporting in Springfield, I'm Cole Hankey, WCIA 3, your local news leader.
Cole, thank you so much. New House Speaker Chris Welch says one of the first items on his agenda is urging Congress and the new Biden administration to send relief to state and local governments and to small businesses hurting from COVID-19.
We got to advocate for Joe Biden to quickly as possible, not in 100 days, in the 30 days, to get another stimulus package that really sends good money to state and local governments, because that's money I believe really we got to get to these small businesses and help them immediately.
Speaker Welch sat down one-on-one with our Capitol Bureau Chief Mark Maxwell today on his first full day in his new office. We have a preview of this Sunday's Capitol Connection interview tonight at 10.
City leaders in Decatur heard from the community this afternoon. They were trying to decide whether to add a non-binding referendum to the ballot for the sale of recreational marijuana. WCIA 3's Jamie Mays is in the newsroom. Jamie, what exactly was decided?
Paul, the board decided there just weren't enough ballot signatures, so the issue won't be on the April ballot. The hearing was held by the mayor, longest-serving city council member, and the city clerk. A petition was filed for a non-binding referendum to be put on the April 6th ballot. The board heard from community members, and there were several arguments for and against it.
The law is not intended to suppress the voice of the citizens. Yet this is what we are attempting to do here today.
If we take facially and assume that every signature on the petitions is valid, there are 928. So they are 1,000, a little over 1,000 signatures light to meet the strict standards of the election code.
The person opposing the referendum also said there were other issues with the petition, including people who signed it not staying inside the city of Decatur, and there was no examination to see if the people who signed were registered voters. But that doesn't mean this won't come up again in the future. A city council member told me the fastest way to get a cannabis dispensary is for city council to approve it. The mayor or city manager or 4 of the 6 remaining council members need to agree to put it on the agenda, and then it can be voted on. Live in the newsroom, Jamie Mays, WCIA 3, your local news leader.
Seems pretty straightforward. Jamie, thanks. Now, last year, Decatur Township voted on whether to allow the sale of marijuana. About 70% of residents of Decatur live in the township. Over 5,000 ballots were cast. 62% voted yes, 38% said no.
Also in Macon County, there is a move toward opening up indoor dining. A new ordinance would let restaurants open at 25% capacity. WCIA 3's Jared Farmer is live in Decatur from the county board meeting. So, Jared, what would happen if the ordinance passes?
Jennifer, this ordinance would effectively limit the Macon County Health Department's authority to enforce COVID-19 guidelines in the county. What this would mean is that the health department would only be able to regulate things such as capacity limits, the wearing of masks, and socially distance when in an enclosed space. Now, there are some concerning implications as to what could happen if this ordinance passes. Health officials are concerned that if it does pass, there could be another increase in the number of COVID-19 cases. Meanwhile, business and restaurant owners are concerned that if they do not get some type of relief, they could be put into more economic pressure. Of course, there is also some concern from local officials that if the consequences from the state government can come forward if they decide to pass this ordinance as well. The Macon County Health Department says regardless of what the outcome is of this vote tonight, they will continue to do their due diligence in trying to stop the spread of this pandemic in the county. Live in Decatur, I'm Jared Farmer, WCIA 3, your local news leader.
Jared, thank you for that report. Now, looking at the state's COVID-19 numbers, the positivity rate continues to decrease. It is now at 8%. More than 6,600 new cases were announced, along with 88 more deaths. Vaccinations continue to roll out across the state. More than 9,600 were issued so far in Champaign County, where more than 900 people are fully vaccinated. In Macon County, more than 3,800 shots were given, more than 800 vaccinated fully. And Vermilion County has had more than 1,100 vaccines, with 59 people getting both doses.
People in an apartment complex are worried about their hot water and heat being shut off for repairs. It's happening at Lake of the Woods Apartments in Mahomet. People living there got a message from the owners saying the boiler needed to be replaced. As part of that replacement, the water and heat would be shut off. The plans for that to happen Monday. The note also said once the work was done, it might take 24 to 48 hours for things to return to normal. Many residents were worried about waiting that long, but the property manager believes the note was misunderstood.
There's like 190 feet worth of piping that it's got to go to get to all the apartments. So if everybody starts using everything at the same time, they're going to drain it real quick. So that's why we say that. But no, you will not be without heat and hot water for 2 days.
We spoke to some people who live there. They said hot water issues have been ongoing at the complex since November. They've even had to boil water on their stove a few times to take a shower or wash the dishes.
One man spent more than a decade behind bars for a murder he didn't commit. How he could be on his way to getting justice.
Also tonight, you wouldn't think there was anything wrong with the lake by looking above the water. Why it's a different story beneath the surface. Kevin, it's a little wet outside.
It is indeed. We have rain showers out here, as you can see on our Roofing Wagonette Bradshaw weather camera. A recap of today shows 43 and 32, but it's about to get interesting. We're going to switch from rain over to some snow. We're going to track that for you and have the latest when we come back.